Back with another Shallow Fakes with cultural icon David Bowie. Hello, David.
Hello. You've got me in reasonably good form, which historically is never a guarantee.
Great. So let's start by clearing something up that's always given me some social anxiety. Is it Bowie as in the bow of a boat, or Bowie as in a bow in my hair?
Where's Bowie? Like the knife, not the hair ribbon. Though, to be fair, if you said it wrong with enough confidence, I'd probably let it go for at least half the evening.
Like the knife? Like
Yeah.
the what?
Jim Bowie, or as in the Bowie knife. That's the pronunciation. Though my actual surname was Jones, so in truth, I stole the whole thing anyway. Very on brand, really. Start with a borrowed name and spend the next 50 years telling it to other people.
Okay, mate, still confused. Like, is it Bowie as in I bow before the king, or Bowie as in I went for a swim in an oxbow lake?
Well, neither really. It's Bowie. So closer to I bow before the king than Oxbow Lake, but not quite either. Honestly, if this is how the interview starts, I'm glad we didn't open on the Berlin years.
What are those?
The Berlin years?
Yeah.
76, 79. When I first moved to West Berlin with Iggy Pop, got a little bit less chemically adventurous and made Low, Heroes, Lodger. Worked with Brian Eno, Tony Visconti, drove around listening to Motorhead records, stared moodily at concrete, and accidentally made some of my best work.
How do you accidentally make good work?
Well, but trying to survive rather than trying to be brilliant. A lot of that came from limitation, bad mental state, fractured attention, strange rooms, unfamiliar city. Sometimes if you stop trying to make a masterpiece, you make something alive instead.
Okay, so you're famous for taking on these different personas. Like, tell us who they were.
Well, a fair few of them are glorified coping mechanisms. There was Ziggy Stardust, obviously, the doomed alien rock star Aladdin Sane, which was basically Ziggy with a nervous breakdown, the thin white Duke, who was elegant, frightening, frankly, not someone I'd recommend spending time with. Then later, I stopped naming them quite so neatly and just kept shape-shifting and better tailoring.
So, David Bowie, why do you think you're regarded as a musical icon?
Oh, because I changed before people got bored. That helps. I think people sensed I was genuinely curious about sound and image, fashion, theatre, sex, art, technology. I followed that curiosity publicly, even when it confused people. Also, I had the decency to write Life on Mars, which does cover a multitude of sins.
So tell us, what was Life on Mars about?
Well, it started as a bit of spite, actually. I'd written English lyrics for Comme d'habitude. They didn't use mine. It became my way. So Life on Mars was me taking that chord sequence and doing something far stranger with it. I mean, it's about a girl bored out of her mind, watching chaos on screen, Mickey Mouse, Ibiza, Lennon, and wondering if there's anything real behind it, which frankly still feels like a reasonable question.
Watching chaos on screen. I mean, all of that sounds pretty prophetic given our screen-obsessed culture today.
I wish I could claim prophecy. It was mostly observation. Television already felt like a strange, flickering mirror in the early 70s. I just pushed it a bit further, more surreal, more fragmented. Turns out if you follow a cultural thread honestly, it often leads somewhere recognizable, even if the screen gets smaller and lives in your pocket.
Being a curious guy who's always open to like the new, what's your hot take on AI?
I loved it. Been slightly terrified of it. I was already using cut-ups, randomization, early software in the 90s. This is just that impulse on steroids. The danger isn't the tool. It's complacency, letting it do the dreaming for you. If it becomes a collaborator that surprises you, wonderful. If it becomes a shortcut to mediocrity, then we just built a very efficient boredom machine.
And linked to that, but much bigger question, like when you look around at the state of the world today, are you glad that you're not in it anymore?
I never had much interest in escaping the present, even when it was a bit of a mess. The world's always felt slightly unhinged. The difference now is the volume and the speed. I'd probably be equal parts fascinated in the pool, which is a fairly productive place to make things from. Besides, I managed the 70s. I backed myself to handle Twitter.
Yeah, so Twitter doesn't exist anymore, I'm afraid.
Oh, so it's been replaced. That was quick. What are we calling it now?
Well, a guy called Elon Musk, you remember him, right? He bought it, rebranded it X. Coincidentally, he's the leading voice and driver of getting us to Mars, Mr. Bowie.
I remember Musk. Though I didn't expect him to wander quite so directly into my back catalogue. Rebranding it X, very minimal, almost too minimal. Like naming an album Untitled and hoping people project meaning onto it.
So if you're going to be in an ad for a product, what do you think that would be?
Or I rather avoided it for years. Felt like collapsing the illusion a bit. But if I had to, something that plays with identity. A camera perhaps, or a piece of software that lets you rearrange yourself. I did that with Verbicizer back in the 90s. Mind you, I did eventually do a deal with Pepsi in the 80s, so clearly my principles had a negotiable rate.
Okay, so based on that negotiable rate and your negotiable principles, let's imagine for a second that you've become the brand ambassador for a new condo development on the moon called Moon Units. How does the ad go?
All right, so we go then. Well, we open on a very ordinary London morning, kettle, condensation on the window, someone tying a tie. Have you ever felt a bit too earthbound? Same streets, same sky, same gravity pulling you into the same person every morning. Then subtle fractures. Gravity feels slightly off. The sound drops out. Reflections lag half a second behind. At Moon Units, we offer perspective. A place where the world is smaller, quieter, and you can finally hear yourself think. No crowds, no noise, just space. Beautiful, impossible space. Then cut to the moon. Not heroic, minimal, almost suburban, clean lines, long shadows, earth hanging there like a quiet painting. People moving slowly, deliberately. Moon Units is not about leaving Earth. It's about becoming someone else when you do. And me, not centre stage, just passing through a corridor, catching your eye for a moment as if to say, you could be here too.
It's beautiful. Okay, so the whole spot takes place on the moon and you only kind of realize halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. You feel it before you know it.
Music, what do you go for?
Well, it's tempting to say Space Oddity, but that's a bit on the nose, don't you think? Major Tom doesn't exactly scream property investment. Probably go with Sound and Vision.
Do you know that you're a theme that's taught at my son's primary school, like a theme that runs across the whole term?
Am I? Oh,
Yeah.
that's slightly surreal. And rather lovely. What are they teaching? The music, personas, just encouraging everyone to be a bit strange.
Well, yeah, they learn about the personas. They do a recital at some point towards the end of the term where they sing a selection of songs. I have to admit that I kind of discovered more of you through them.
Oh, that's wonderful. But I rather like the idea of being introduced backwards like that. Children tend to get it more instinctively. Dressing up, shifting, permission to try on different selves without apology. That's really all I was doing. Just with better lighting and a band. Which songs are they playing?
Starman is definitely in there, and Changes, Heroes, Let's Dance, Space Oddity, I think.
Nice. Strong set. They've gone straight for the manifesto. Changes is the whole thesis, really. Don't get comfortable, keep moving. Heroes, well, that's just two people by a wall in Berlin, pretending they can outrun everything for a day. Not bad material for a primary school, honestly. Slightly better than Recorders and Greensleeves.
For real. Well, I think that's us, Dave. And thanks for the time, Mr. Bowie. You seem like a cool guy.
trace time.